All right, all right. Welcome to Business and Influence. Every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm gonna grab a sip of water while we're getting folks in. So as you all know, each week we talk about something interesting, a different topic. We bring in a special guest to talk about that topic with us. So today we're going to have Ryan, who is a funnel builder, and just, we're going to talk about marketing, digital marketing, funnels, all that kind of fun stuff. Let me see. I think I can invite. What's up? What's up? Hey. Oh man, son of a hun. Hey Ryan, what's good? What's good, brother? How you doing?
Bro, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Welcome to Business and Influence.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. I've been looking forward to this conversation um, because it'll be fun to just kind of get in the weeds a little bit. Typically, we're, more strategic based, but, you know, you and me can have some fun.
Yeah, you already know I'm down for that. You speak my language, so whatever you want to talk about, I'm with.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, why don't we just start by, just sharing a little bit about who you are, what you do, why you're dope. Hey, we see you, Miss Creative CEO. Hey, hey.
Yeah, shout out to
Um,
in the building. That's my fam. If you mess my fam, drop a hashtag MM. But to answer your question, for those of you that are not familiar with me, my name is Ryan McCrary, also known as the Funnel Doctor. I run a digital marketing agency. We specialize in funnels, of course, but also we build websites, landing pages, email automation, and Facebook and Instagram ads, which I'm sure we'll talk about today. But basically, just trying to do my thing in the entrepreneur world. Like I said, run a digital marketing agency and really, really focus on delivering a result for our clients. I think you might have
where
froze.
y'all are from?
That's
Oh, did I
that
freeze?
international wow.
Pretty much, pretty much. Um, yeah. So if y'all are just joining, drop your business in the chat and put where you're calling in or where you're joining from. We want to, use this as an opportunity to network, to build. And so you can do that by just saying the name of your business and where you're from. Thanks, Ryan, for introducing yourself. I'm Tevah, the Idea Man. I support industry experts, celebrities, and influencers build digital products and retreats. Yeah, I'm just really, here for this. We also want you all to be able to use this time to get expert advice in your businesses from two marketing experts. All right. So if you've got some marketing questions, if you have some business questions, if you're like, hey man, like there's just been this challenge I've been faced with, and you don't, what I'm saying? A lot of people have not spent, especially if they're a small business, they may not have said, oh, I'm gonna pay several $1,000s for that strategy session or to talk to you, pick your brain. But what, I gotta pick your brain for $1,000? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, me spend a lot of time and money and whatever, sharpen our craft. So of course, absolutely.
Exactly, exactly. But this time, right? This time you have to be able to ask us questions and to be able to get feedback for free. So use it.
Advantage of it for real.
So yeah, let's talk about first thing. I think a lot of people have this question: is what is a funnel? Because there's so many explanations and definitions, and you and I can probably rattle off a lot. But I want to hear from you. Like, what is the definition of a funnel?
Yeah, it's the number one question I get, along with many other things. But I would say I like to look at it as you may hear other people say customer journey, but what does that mean? Basically, I would say in layman's terms, it's just a step-by-step process that you take people through to sell your products and services. When I got first started in business, I never thought of what I looked at as like a process, or like a sales process or like what, like a journey people should go through. I was passionate about what I did. And my first business was not funnels and funnel doctor agency stuff, which we could talk about if you want. But, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was passionate about. And I just like, all right, I want to sell this. I want to make money. I didn't have my job anymore and stuff like that. But I didn't think about it like, okay, what's an actual process? But a funnel, I always like to call it, it's just a step-by-step process that you take people through to sell your products and services. So bringing them from like a lead, hey, I'm interested in what you're talking about, to actually saying, okay, I'm in, I want to be a paying customer, but like, what does that journey look like, which we can get to the weeds and stuff like that. But it's basically just a sales process to sell what you offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a really good breakdown of it. A lot of people see it as like, just this landing page, right? And I think primarily probably because of ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
Um, People think, oh, is the funnel just this website or just this series of upsells, or is it also, the ad, and is it also the email series? Like, you know, and I think, what you said, if you think about it as what is this full sales process? And one way I kind of like to think about it when I'm picturing things is like a pipeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a oil pipeline, and it's taking, customers from wherever they are online to money in your bank account. Now, each of those elements, right, that are a part of that. So of course your funnel, or, your traditional funnel or sales page, or landing page, or conversion site. Like there's so many different names for the same things, and people just be like, no, they told me to do a landing page. I'm like, no, I have to get a sales page. I'm like, just
Right.
it's just like it's just a page that's gonna make somebody buy something, and it follows
Right.
a couple of rules.
Right. Whatever you want to call it.
Right, right. Like as long as we're selling stuff, you know what I mean? But a lot of times I think why people's, funnels, right, don't work is because there's one element or two or three or four elements in that pipeline that has a leak,
Right. Mm.
and most people are only looking at one of the pieces of the full, funnel. So they're like, well, why isn't this one piece working? And I'll be switching out for a new one. You're like, no, that was actually working just fine.
Hmm. Definitely. I agree with that. I like how you broke that down. Absolutely.
hmm hmm So what do you see as like the biggest problem for like small businesses, right? Like when they come to you and they're like, okay, what's up with ads? Like, what do you see as like the challenge that most people are having?
Yeah, it's a lot of them. And Karen said
He
people
said there's
don't
a lot.
art to the funnels. Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. I would say like yeah, it's a lot. Number one, like not having a funnel. That's one of the first ones. Is like not even having a funnel or not understanding. Doesn't mean you have to understand everything completely 100%. But
Yeah.
understand like what journey should people go through. Like what process should people come through. That type of stuff. At least on like a high level. Um, and I think with ads and funnels, they are intertwined. But some people are like they got a great funnel but they need the traffic. They don't have the ads. They don't have the creatives. They don't, put the budget together, or vice versa. Like I'm spending money on ads. I got people coming, but an ad drive people to a page or a landing page or sales page, whatever you call it. But then once they get
Yeah.
there, what happens? Are you capturing information? Is it the right offer? Is it the right strategy? Is it the right price point? What are you doing? Upsells and bumps and like all that type of stuff. So what I see, I see a lot of people from what I see, a lot of people are all over the place, and they
Yeah.
just understand like they don't have a good strategy. They don't understand like what they need to do. They don't understand the top, middle, bottom of the funnel, different touch points, part of the funnel, So I think like a lot. Also, they don't give, like you said, it may be different parts in the funnel that are working or not working, but they don't give the funnel enough time to work, or they don't actually
Mm.
or they don't analyze it, or they, like I said, they have a great funnel, but they don't run ads to it. They don't run enough traffic to it. They don't run it enough consistently. So like I see like a lot of different stuff all across the board. Kind of just depends on what day it is.
Yeah. He said Tuesdays is when they just don't run it long enough. They just Man, I feel it.
Whatever. whatever, depending on what it is. Could be a Facebook
Yeah.
issue, whatever. So I see a lot of different stuff across the board, depending on, what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome, Shizzy. Shizzy gets busy. Brown, counseling, creating with Kita. What's up, y'all? If y'all got questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. Y'all got two marketing experts here to give you free game. So make sure to use it. I think one of the biggest challenges I see that small businesses have as it relates to like marketing and getting these things set up is that they almost want it as like a quick fix, right? They've been giving themselves 3 years of chances to try to get their janky business off the ground, and they still ain't make no more sales from the last one. But then they want to look at marketing like, oh, I did one campaign for 2 weeks and it didn't work, so I'm not doing that no more. And I'm like, I'm like, yo, and if y'all feeling what I'm saying, put some snaps in the chat, right? Swanky, Glam, welcome. But it's like they don't. How do I say it? Like I've had a lot of clients before who were in the mindset of like, hey, I don't want to be a marketer. I don't want to know marketing. I just want to give it off to somebody and run my business.
Right,
And I'm
right,
like, do you not understand that marketing and sales is running your business? It's the primary functions of a CEO?
right. Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, a lot of people they just think, and I tell people like I'm the funnel doctor, I'm not the funnel savior. I'm not.
Ooh, ooh. Yo, he said, I can't resuscitate it. If it's gone, it's gone.
For real, just because I can't, like, number one, like, and I see Karen's question is a good, really, really good question because I always think about also like the offer part of it is like if it's
Hmm.
that you put out in the marketplace and people don't buy it, a great funnel is not a substitute for that. A great
Right.
ad substitute for product market fit and like all that type of stuff. But like you
Hmm.
said, I think people think, oh, I'm going to hire a Facebook person or a funnel person. I'm going to pay this person, and then automatically they're going to fix my problem. I can outsource everything. I don't have to worry about it. Oh, it's just going to work for itself. But you definitely have to put the time, money, effort into it. But to
Yeah.
answer Karen's question, and I'll let you go too as well, of course. What are your top three things that you must have to a successful marketing campaign?
Ooh,
Mm,
that's, man,
question.
about 20 of them just came to mind. I'm like, oh man, three.
Question. I would say because it also depends on like where you are with it. You know what I mean? Like if it's something completely new that you're putting out there, if it's something that you've
Hmm.
done before, but you're doing like something, like a new version of it. So it's like I think there are a lot of nuances of it, and like
Yeah.
with Mark, it depends, But I would say, just my perspective is, I think a lot of it starts with like your offer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, do you have like a really, really good offer that's tested, proven? You have proof of concept. I think, and a lot of times, like I said, you may be starting out, you maybe don't know, but at the same time, I think like having a really, really good offer.
Yeah.
I, of course, having a good funnel. You know what I mean? Like specifically the page they go to, the right sequence they go into, like all that type of stuff. Of course, having the ads and stuff set for a newbie. Yeah, I would still say definitely the offer. I think definitely the offer. Like I said, a really good funnel. Of course, the ads, and stuff like that. Um, that's what I'm trying to think. I mean, those are some of the main things, of course, which is cliche, but that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
A funnel, good ad campaign, really good offer. Um, I would say, as we all know, like planning, making sure like it's planned properly and that type of stuff. And for those getting started in business, um, I think for a lot of newbies and stuff like that, I think you really gotta. My biggest thing that I would say, and I see with newbies, is you really gotta put it out there and see because you don't want to spend too much time overly trying to put so much strategy and stuff like that because if it's something brand new you got to put it out there and see You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
do a lot of people, they put too much into like the planning aspect of it, and then you put it out there, and then you really got to get data. Like, are people buying this? Are they not? Is there already a market for that? If so, where are those people at? Can we connect with people that already have those people on our list? Like all that type of stuff. I think you really got to put it out there and get some data.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Got to get proof of concept. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, what I would say, because I see so many newbies with a lot of ideas. Man, you know what I'm saying? So I know you see it. The people come to you with a lot of stuff, and
Oh
ideas are
yeah.
good. Like that's great. Having a great idea, like that's amazing. But it's like, all right, what data do you have on it? Like what people
Yeah.
are buying this already? What where is this at in the marketplace? Like what have you already made money? And me personally, I don't really just go off of surveys and that type of stuff. Like my survey is people swiping their card. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's how
'Cause,
you know if it's working all the way.
don't get me wrong. How many people out there, like, you do a research or like a survey or whatever, people, oh yeah, I would buy that, I would do that. But when it's time to buy it, a lot of them ain't nowhere to be seen. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
Hmm.
that's what I would say for newbies. Like you really, really, if it's like something new out in the marketplace, you really, really got to put it out there and like really see what happens.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I would say there's only kind of three things in the campaign. And if you're new, um, I would say there's kind of three spaces, and it may look different. There might be some different kind of technology as a part of it, but there's three pieces that you need for a campaign, right? Now, the first one I'm going to say is your point of sale, right? Your point of sale is like when are they actually or how are they actually making the conversion or purchase? Is this over a phone call? Is this expected to be on a website? Is it going to be through, you public speaking and people signing up as you speak? Like whatever is going to be the way that people actually take the purchase, that is the first thing you need to consider and make sure that you're clear on how are they going to buy, right? Now, if it's just a sales page and you've got some several $1,000 program, they're probably not going to buy it like that, right? So you need to know based on what this price is and what I'm building, where am I going to sell this, right? So that would be the first thing I think about. Um, then I would think about who is my target audience, right? Who is the person that is going to be right, and who's going to say yes when I take them to that point of sale, right? Who is that person, right? And where are they, essentially, right? And then the only third part is the bridge, right? Is how do you get that person that you just thought about to that point where you get to sell them, right? That's
Right.
everything in the middle is just that. You know what I'm saying? The person and get them to the place they're gonna buy. All of the rest of it is just trying to lead them in the direction. So if you think of the campaign as kind of like those three steps, right? Sometimes it means, the person is at a conference and the way that you're gonna get them to your business is to introduce yourself, get their phone number, and then schedule a call with them. And then on the call, you hope to sell them. That's
Right.
a campaign, right?
Def-
Like people think of marketing as like, oh, you got to have this, and yes, you do. But at the marketing heart of it is just getting out there and letting people know you got something, and then getting it sold, right? Marketing and sales are like the two hand in hand, right? So you can't do one without the other. But that's all you got to think about. How can I get them, and where do I get them to say yes? Where are they now? And then how do I get them to that place to say yes? Those are the
mhm.
three questions you should ask.
Definitely. I love that. I saw a good question. I was trying to go back. She said, "So how do you get a data when you don't have an audience?" I think it was.
Mm,
I would say someone else has your audience though. Like if you start now and you don't have an audience yet, or who else? Who has the audience? Like who has your avatar? Who has the folks that you're looking for, either on their email list, podcast, social media, whatever it is, Facebook group. Who else has your ideal customer? and like, okay, how can we get in front of them? How can we build relationships with them? How can we, do whatever you do, an affiliate or JV or whatever, so we can get in front of those people. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? And besides that, if you don't have an audience and you want to get data, run Facebook ads. You know what I'm saying? That's a shortcut to get data and get in front of people, even if you literally can be starting brand new. You know what I mean? Of course, there are nuances to it, and Tevah knows more than me when it comes to the ads. But if you say I'm starting out, I don't have audience yet, but I want to get data, turn on some ads. You can start getting in front of people immediately and start getting data immediately. In addition to, of course, other people and other communities. Karen said, "How are you getting the money, the avatar, and the point of conversion?"
Yeah, I think those are just the stages, for your funnel, or for your campaign. It's a funnel and a campaign. They're kind of like, man, I feel like marketers, we like to confuse people. I mean, like marketing is already confusing enough. We ain't gotta confuse them with all these words.
Right.
Okay, how long do you recommend to stay in the courtesy stage before you start charging? What do you mean by that? Can you put a little more context to that?
Yeah.
What I think you're hearing is like, how long should I be giving my products away for free before I start charging for them? That's what I think you're saying. And if that is what you're saying, put like a 100 in the chat or something to let me know. And my answer to that is there should be no time at all ever where I don't think, what is a courtesy stage? I've never heard of such a thing. Courtesy is you pay me my money for the work I did.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Give me your view. I think that's what they're
No,
asking. I'm not
yeah,
100% sure.
yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I don't, I mean, we definitely don't give away stuff for. I mean, we do like a free discovery call, which is like 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So, as far as like free stuff, you know what I mean? I think that is not the right approach because then you training people to um, gives, just hey, we just give some free. Karen made a good point. So y'all are giving free info. That's a really good point. I think it depends. I think that is nuance into that question. You know what I'm saying? So I think it like depends. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a free conversation. Like I think you'll definitely get a lot of value out of stuff like that. But if you say, hey, I want to schedule a free 60-minute Zoom call with you to pick your brain, you know, we can get on here. We might be on here for 60 minutes and you get free game that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's nuances to it. Just
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you start now and you got products and an influencer wants your product and they're going to actually put it in front of a lot of people that are your avatar, I don't think that's a bad play. You know what I mean? But I think it really kind of depends, and, we do some stuff where it's like, uh, hey, we may look out you on this type of thing if it works for us this way. You know what I mean? So it's like it depends, but for the most part, like you should be focused on acquiring customers and getting sales.
Yes, yes. And Malika, why don't you put in the chat or what your business is so we can be a little more specific
Yeah,
in our recommendations. But yeah, so what I hear you saying is the stage where you give away a free few nuggets to bring them into what? So I think you're kind of talking about like even kind of like what we're doing as Ryan was talking about, right? Like we're giving away information. So what we'll talk about is a little bit of I guess the strategy behind a funnel or like the customer journey so you can have an idea of what kind of places you're trying to aim for, right? So an easy way to think about marketing is to just think of it like dating. All right, when you meet somebody brand new, think about conversion, right? Conversion is the point where they buy something from you. It'd be equivalent to I don't know, a high level conversion in a relationship, maybe, being boyfriend and girlfriend now or getting married or something like that, right? Or no, well, married would be more like customer loyalty, like for sure. So that's after the point of conversion. So maybe it's like it's just like getting into a relationship, right? When you first meet somebody, you know what I mean? You're not about to just be like, hey, so you my girl now. Now, every now and then I've heard some stories and it works.
So don't let me, ruin your chances. I'm just saying, more than likely, you just need to say hi, hey, how you doing, and share a little bit about yourself, right? Similar in business, when you first acquire someone, right, or you're first building a relationship, you want to add value. You want to give something away for free. You want to do kind of like what Ryan and I are doing, having a conversation, giving free game. And then from there, hopefully that person then takes the first step in, the customer journey, which could be a follow, it could be giving you their email, it could be giving you their phone number, right? So you want to give enough away so that you can get them as a follower, their email or their phone number. That's the first step, right? I'll give it to Ryan for the next step. I don't even have to. We're gonna vibe. So I already knows he knows, but I'm just gonna say, what's the next step for the people?
After you have their information,
Yeah.
you got to nurture them. I would say nurture them. You definitely can. I mean, in the funnels that we build, anytime we do a free offer or opt in, we immediately try to upsell. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely because I think there always are people that will buy right away. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
you to separate those. You know what I mean? So like for the most part, most of the funnels that we build or I build or opt-ins, even though it may be something free, we always going to try, even if it's like a $7 or $20 or $37 or something like that, I immediately want to like offer something because out of those people that will buy like immediately, we want to qualify them, we want to separate them and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, from there, we nurture them. Once you put them on a list, you nurture them, you give them good information, you give them value. Don't try to just sell and stuff like that. And then from there, at some point, it's like, all right, even if you didn't buy initially on the first upsell or whatever, we want you to buy at some point. You know what I mean? If
I'm
you,
gonna ask you again.
the more people you get on your list, those of you that know that have big lists, it's more expensive. So I clean my list frequently. If you're not engaging, if you haven't opened the email or whatever, we're gonna kick you off the list because the list is expensive. So that's what I would say.
Absolutely. So yeah, what Ryan just explained is kind of like two pieces in the funnel. One is the second one, which is like, okay, now that you have them, you still need to be able to continue to give free information away, add more value, right? It doesn't mean you're giving away your service. It means
Right,
you're
right,
giving away information that would help someone choose your service or really
exactly.
your service, right? So that's you keep nurturing, right? The other thing that Ryan mentioned is a sales strategy called ABC, always be closing,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So no matter what,
Write that
no
down.
matter so what I'm saying, even if you first meet, it's like, yeah, great to meet you. Can we go on a date? Okay, no, all right, cool. Well, I can get your information. Boom, boom. All right, now we're gonna text. All right, well, what about that date? Okay, no, okay, cool. Well, we'll just keep communicating and building a relationship. And then either eventually they might come back and be like, you know what? I was thinking about that date you talked about, right?
Right, right.
I don't know. How many customers have you had that have said no to you and it came back a couple months later like, so we tried some stuff. The stuff didn't
Right,
work.
right, right, right. Always did. And I'm gonna say Fat Joe. Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Yo. Be like, oh, okay. It'd be funny because it's like exactly what you told him, and you'd be like,
Literally.
I low key be petty, but I be trying not to be.
Right.
Oh my gosh, right? So always be closing is that strategy of like, okay, make the request, right? It doesn't need to be some people go in and they just try to go so hard and aggressive. It's not a it's not a aggressive sale. It's not like but it's just like, oh, okay, well, cool, we got this far. You want some ice cream? Like when you're at the best upsell, man. Oh, you want some dessert? That's not a good one. I think drinks is better because people always get drinks. Desserts are kind of like iffy. It's like the
Drinks is
second
the
upsell.
key. If you put some drinks, like, yeah, we can have a drink.
Okay. Yep, we can have a drink. That's the classic upsell, and then dessert afterwards is like that separates the high buyers. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are living good.
Definitely.
So you can find marketing just in everyday aspects of life, and all the things that we do. That's what I really love about it. I don't think a lot of people realize that I think like someone said earlier in the chat that it was like an art, that it's an art and a science, and you're working with an artist.
Hmm. Definitely, I
So,
agree.
what other questions y'all got for us? Anything else we need to tell them about the customer journey?
Um, I think besides what we already talked about, we talked about lead capture. Like I'm really really big on list building. I think it's another mistake a lot of entrepreneurs, especially new entrepreneurs, make is like not building your list, not building your list, not building your list. Of course, sir, of course, nurture them, upsell them and everything like that. Besides that, I know you touched on it a little bit, but like the lifetime value. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
Mm.
you may be able to get a customer, but it's much harder to keep a customer. And how can you have monthly recurring revenue? How can you have some type of membership or whatever? Think about, biggest companies in the world, majority of them, there's some recurring revenue model where they want to make money off you every single month. So that type of stuff, I would say definitely do that. That
Yeah.
is holy grail of everything that we do is like, all right, how do we capture them? How do we nurture them? How do we convert them? How do we keep them as long as possible? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I would say is like the next phase of like, all right, you got the customer, they spend with you, but how do we keep spend? How do we get them to keep spending with us? How do we get them to spend more? How do we get them to spend more often? Definitely separate your best buyers from those who aren't and that type of stuff. So I think that's good. Thank you so much, Karen. Shay, gotta run, guys. You all rock. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, man, I think we gave a lot of game. I think we gave a lot of game. I think the key takeaways, if you're just tuning in or you've been here is, build a relationship with your customers. Spend that time building your list. Always be giving some type of offer, even if it's not a huge one, just, hey, you want this? Um, what else do we talk about?
Um, I mean, we could talk more about ads if you want as well. I know we didn't talk about it a lot. You know what I mean? Or if anybody has any specific Facebook ad questions, or you got the man right here. So uh, I think that's definitely what I do. One of our strengths is like retargeting. So like you said, if you get on
hmm
that call and people aren't ready, I'm like, all right, because I already know you're gonna keep seeing our ads. We're gonna keep showing up in
Right.
your feed. We'll keep seeing our ads. So anytime someone don't and not ready to move forward, they're like, oh, I'll figure it out myself. I'm like, okay, because I already know you're gonna get caught in the loop. You're gonna keep seeing the ads. And then, from there, people are like you said, they're gonna be like, well, I tried this and it didn't work or whatever. It's like, listen,
hmm
I told you, doctor, we could have set you straight. Now you got to pay next price because we tried to help you out.
Yeah, yep, yep. It's always like that, but I think that just, and business is like its own life in a sense. And just like in life, we have to go through our journeys and our trials and our challenges, and you know what I'm saying? The business does too. So it's really interesting how business kind of really mirrors just like a personal growth journey, you know?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Um, and a lot of times it is a reflection of, your business, especially as like if you're a small entrepreneur or, you, um, or a solopreneur or, a team of 2 to 3, your business is going to be heavily based on you as a person. And I think one thing we don't talk about enough, just as entrepreneurs is like, you know, what do you do to sustain yourself, to keep yourself in good spirits, to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself functioning, to keep yourself not stressed? Because if those things happen and that affect you, you are the business,
Right.
you know? Um, So yeah, what are your some of your do you have any like self-care practices that you do or anything that you do when it's getting crazy um or like when actually like yeah when you have like a decision to make and you're torn between directions because yeah, as you said earlier like a lot of people have a bunch of ideas, right? And being torn that can lead to all that stress and all that stuff. So do you what are your strategies when you're faced with such?
Good question. I mean, I like to think about it from different perspectives. You know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
also like too hard and you know what I mean, be like too indecisive. You know what I mean? But I like to really like think about like weigh the options. You know what I mean? Pros and cons and all that type of stuff. And also looking at it like, is this more long term or short term? And you know everything like that. And I'm always, of course, focused on the long term and you know really building
Yeah.
and you know building something substantial. You know, so that's how perspective I look at it. Like, all right, based on this decision, what does this mean long term? What are the
Mm.
implications on this? What you know, what's gonna if I make this decision now and a year, 2, 3, 5 from now, will it impact that or whatever? You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's you know, one of the other questions you was getting at was like self care stuff or whatever. Like I'm big on like
Yeah.
sleeping,
Yeah.
like enough sleep, rest, unplugging, vacation. You know what I mean? Like whatever that looks like. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm big because you know at the end of the day, like you said, I mean, regardless of how much you are in the business or your team, I know Joy came on. Shout out to Joy, HR for the culture, like
Hey,
whatever.
hey.
Still, as entrepreneurs, like a lot is on our shoulder. So
Mm.
health is wealth. You know what I mean? So like regardless of whatever, how much money you make, like all that stuff don't matter if your health ain't right. So, you know, I definitely try to prioritize that as much as possible, you know, exercise and trying to eat right and as much as, you know, I can. I still struggle with it, of course, you know, but I think that's just extremely important as
Yeah.
entrepreneurs because like you know, if you ain't right, the business right, and
Yeah.
even if mentally, like if you got
Yeah.
stuff life or relationships, like or whatever. Like that's how I am. Like if I'm not, especially for what we do is like it's so mental driven and like strategy. Like I gotta be in the right mind space to like really run my company
Hmm.
efficiently and serve my clients at the highest capacity. You know, so like if I'm not in the right mental space, that could be worse than even physically. You know what I'm saying? So like I try to be in good
Yeah.
spirits, energy as much as possible.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I think that's the also the importance of like systems in your businesses, systems and repeatable processes, because those ways you can somewhat, not fully, but somewhat assure yourself to keep the boat running if even if something happens to you or you're in a space, if you have systems, processes, and team that are trained, that you've spent the time to document what they need to be doing and really kind of put it down. Um, then when you're off your game or when it's inevitably going to happen at some point, you have like some safeguards.
Right.
You have some safeguards to keep things moving, keep things afloat, even if you're not.
Definitely.
um, and one of my self-care things is to get a massage or get like acupuncture. Um, I think both of those are uh, pretty relaxing and they kind of open up your energy and like, help your body. So I think a lot of times our mental is also connected to our body. And so by like making sure that that's good, um, I find that also helps my mind relax.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, folks, do y'all have any more questions? Any other things that you want to know? Any other, pieces of game that y'all need? Um, Ryan, if there was, I don't know, just like one big piece of game you could drop somebody with, like to just, this is a piece of game that y'all need to know, right? What would that piece be?
Build your list.
Hmm.
Like
My
honestly,
man said I was ready for it.
build so like I harp that in so much,
Mm.
because like your list is everything, and I just think, and of course you want to, there are different parts to that. You want to separate, you don't want just free people on your list. Of course you want paying, clients or customers on your list. You want to segment them and everything like that. Hey, Shimani, thank you so much for being here.
Hey,
Um,
hey.
but yeah, like that's my, it could be a lot of stuff. It could be, ads and funnels, whatever. But like, build your list. You know what I mean? Like all the big companies, that we know or we work with, or we work with six-figure companies, seven-figure companies. They all got big lists.
Mm.
Especially e-com product brands. A lot of the big e-com product brands we work with, 40 to 50% or more of the revenue comes from their list. So I would
Mm.
just keep building your list as much as possible, especially with all the craziness with Facebook ads and iOS and conversions and prices up, conversions down, or whatever. It's even more important. Like build your list, build your data, build your contact list, collect emails, phone numbers, all that type of stuff. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's fire.
Bro.
I think I think yeah, man, Ryan hit the nail on the head right there. Um, yeah, build your list. Build your list in whatever way you can.
Definitely.
Interesting, like that's how I first got started in marketing as like a high schooler rapping. And every time I would do a show, I would have a binder with me. And in it I would like have like, just like pages and I would like have people write their name and email address. And I would go to every show I did. I got thousands of emails by doing this,
Yo, that's
right?
crazy.
Like right. So I'm like 16 or 17 with like a several thousand people email list, and I'm using Constant Contact. And this is how I got started in marketing. You know what I mean? And it was interesting. Probably about 2 years ago, somebody that was on that original list, because I think what happened, I switched some providers or something like that, and I had lost some of it, but I found some of the old papers. So I put them back in, and I sent out the list, and I got a sale for a presentation and public speaking opportunity from someone who hired me when I was in high school to do some rapping about global warming. And then, I don't know, like 10 years later, from that list, then hired me to do like professional work for their company. And,
Because you had the list.
right, you know, so, you can really build relationships. I think people think marketing is just this series of numbers and tools and processes. And yes, it is. But at the heart of it is building relationships with people. And if you're good at word of mouth, I always hear people, I'm good at word of mouth, but I don't know that social media stuff. And I'm like, yo, social media is just word of mouth on steroids. What are you
Right.
talking about? Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you should, yeah, you should be like thriving in social media than if you're good at word of mouth, because all it is about connecting with people. And if you have a good heart and you know how to talk to people and connect with people, that's what marketing is.
Facts.
So my game to you would be don't overcomplicate it. Go back to your three steps. As Brian said, your offer. What the heck are you selling? Right? You need to know that. What am I selling and how am I making somebody, where are they going to buy this offer at? Right?
Mhm.
So are they going to buy it on a website? They're going to buy it on a call. They're going to buy it in a conference. Are they going to buy it from me speaking? Are they going to buy it from an Instagram live? Are they going to buy it from a Facebook live? Where the heck are they going to buy it? And then who's the audience for it? And how do I get them to that place where they're going to buy it? That's really all you got to think about.
Yeah, right. Facts.
you know, and if they don't buy it the first time, as Ryan said, how to tell them to come back.
Right. For real.
They just close the loop.
Mhm.
So yeah, that would be my piece.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, yeah, man. It was great vibing out with you and rocking on the detailed marketing, folks. If you just joined this and you had some breakthroughs or you got some good game, please share this with your friends. Let them know, hey, like here's some game that you need for your business about funnels and marketing. Um, and put some hearts in the chat if you had a good time. Reach out to both Ryan and I if you have questions. Make sure you follow each of us if you have questions. If you need marketing services, you've got two amazing experts in front of you. So, make sure to use those resources at your disposal. And yeah, Ryan, bro, it was good to talk, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you for having me. I guess I'll see you in Mexico in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm excited for that.
Yep, definitely. So I
I'm
definitely,
excited for that.
you already know it's about to be lit. So I hope
Oh my gosh, I gotta get some rest before I can't even. Oh my goodness.
everyone
I
listen.
take
You
me
know
some naps.
it's about to be lit. So I
Oh man.
hope you're ready.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready. And for the rest of y'all folks on, make sure you're ready next week, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Business and Influence. I'm here every week, every Monday, so please tune back in. Where we'll be having some more really dope folks like Ryan come in and talk and share and pour value into you.
All right. Thanks, bro.
All right, man. No problem. See you in Mexico, bro.
All right. See you.
All right. Peace.